And hello again, YouTube. It is still Friday, September 16th, 2022, 9:06 p.m. I think I'm going to pass on Oz tonight. I after last night, and this morning, I don't really feel like drinking tonight. I mean, granted, I could always go in there and sing karaoke and have a Coke or two. And on the occasions when I do that, I usually tip the bartenders pretty well, just so they know I'm still thinking of them, and not trying to loiter. Just some days I'm just not up to drinking, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling very sociable today at all. Got a lot of things in my head I'm having a lot of anxiety over. Not the least of which is last night and how foggy my memories of last night are. So as far as I can tell, everything's fine with me at Bullock's. I was it's just been a long time since I've done one of those karaoke shows where I just get so, and I don't even think it was the quantity of what I drank last night. I think it was the fact that I mixed beer and rum, and that's just never a formula for it's a good time while it's happening, but it's never a good formula for later. Whereas I can typically drink quite a bit of beer and be fine, and I can typically drink quite a bit of rum and be fine. But boy, do a little mixing of the two, and trying to go over what of the show I remember. I was trying to focus on that on the last video, but then my mind got sidetracked in so many things, like the fact that Thursday Night Football is no longer broadcast in a traditional way, not even on a cable channel. Still really bothered by that. So yeah, I got in. Football game was going on. They did end up having to turn on the jukebox to buffer some time between the end of the game and me getting set up, which is fine. I actually started probably about, I want to say maybe 10-15 minutes early. At one point, I noticed that I was ready to go, and I noticed there were no more songs on the jukebox, so I just started playing music immediately. Now, typically on those nights, I don't jump right into karaoke. I just DJ for a while and kind of wait until 9:30-ish to even start singing myself and kind of push it as karaoke. And oh, excuse me. And surprisingly, I had a singer come up to me before my first song was even over that I played as a DJ. I started with Rick James and Tina Marie, Fire and Desire, which I don't usually start off with a slow jam like that, but there's a woman that was there, and I'm totally forgetting her name. It's someone I've seen many times, and me and her and another guy were talking, and wow, we got more flashing lights up here. And she mentioned the song, so it was kind of stuck in my head, so it seemed like a pretty good place to start. Why are we coming to nearly a stop? I hate when one lane comes to a nearly complete stop over something like that, and then the next lane over just keeps whizzing by. I don't know, maybe I'm just an overly cautious driver, but whenever I'm driving and I notice that one lane is coming to a near stop, I'm slowing down, maybe not coming to a near stop or matching the speed of that lane, but I'm definitely slowing myself down quite a bit just to see what's what's causing the lane adjacent to me to slow down so much, and also to make sure that oh, my brain just went into neutral. Also make sure, you know, that there's nobody trying to escape from that lane and jump in front of me in my lane. Because often that does happen, and by slowing myself down, I'm a little more able to deal with that. Wow, this trailer on my right here has no taillights at all. Not cool. Oh, anyway, where was I? Trying to describe the show last night. So yeah, I remember I started off with Fire and Desire. God, my memories at the beginning of the night are just so much detail when I try to remember them. Played that, and that's a fairly long song. I want to say it's like a 6-7 minute song. So while it was on, there was a guy that had come up to me earlier talking about singing, who gave me his song requests, and I forget what his song was, but it was like early 80s, late 70s soul R&B type stuff. I totally forget the name of the song or the artist. Not a song or an artist I'm particularly into, but definitely an artist I'm familiar with. And it was more or less the vibe of song I thought it would be, you know, when he started singing it, when I started playing the instrumental for it. Yeah, he was wondering myself if Del Taco is open this late. I'm hungry. I haven't ate anything all day. I didn't get any food at Bullocks like I normally do. Anyway, yeah, so sorry, my mind is still not very on point today. He went to, anyway, so yeah, he gave me that song, and then he came back a little later and said he was turning in a song for his little brother, and generally speaking, I don't allow people to turn in songs for other people, but the guy was super cool. I hadn't really started my show yet, so I mean, I wasn't like overwhelmed like I typically am during the show. I mean, you know, at this point, Fire and Desire is still playing, and I'd already queued up a video to come up after that, so that could have done itself on autopilot, you know. So anyway, I was like, "Oh, your brother," and he pointed at his brother, and his brother kind of waved at me. So it's like, good enough. Same sort of song. And again, another one that I'm not really familiar with the artist or the title, but I know that's, you know, like a 70s, early 80s soul R&B type song. So anyway, I go ahead and let the video play, and I forget what video I had queued up. You know, I think if I think hard enough, it'll probably come back to me. Like I said, my memories at the beginning of the show are really clear. Maybe it'll come back to me, maybe it won't. I think I'm going to do Taco Bell. I was actually thinking about going to Taco Bell Cantina. I was thinking about going to Taco Bell Cantina, but trying to find parking on a Friday night downtown sounds like a pain in the ass. So I think I'm just gonna go to the Taco Bell at 32nd Street and the one off 32nd Street and Thomas, get some food to go, and head on over to the Wanderin. Anyway, I guess I shouldn't worry which particular video I played. It's really not that big of a deal. I just remember it was something also kind of down-tempo R&B. I figured it's something that would lead into what the guys had already put in to sing. Although I feel like I'd already put that video into my queue before I got the karaoke slips. Anyway, I'm getting way too sidetracked on minutia, and never gonna get to much of what happened after. What the hell is up with this guy's light show under his vehicle? That is just obnoxious. I didn't think people still did that stupid shit anymore. I remember in the late 80s where having the neon under your ride was kind of a trim, and I always thought that was kind of neat, but this guy's got some like strobing, flashing LED shit going on, and kind of obnoxious. Anyway, it was kind of cool, like him starting singing and his brother starting singing right off the bat. I was going to put myself in, but I ended up having other people come in, and ended up, like, usually my first round of singers will only be about 2 or 3 singers. Quite often it's just like one singer and me, and then I'll go back into videos, and then I'll have people approach me wanting to sing. Like, that's enough to kind of get them going. But it's very unusual for my first round to have as many singers as it did last night. And I forget exactly how many there were, probably only about 6 or so, but certainly it was more than normal, and it felt like I just immediately went to being a karaoke show as opposed to, my first hour, which typically has me DJing a lot more than it has karaoke. And I enjoy that, by the way. That always kind of gets my head in a good place. Not that it was a problem not doing that. Anyway, while Fire and Desire was on, I was able to head over and get, or maybe before Fire and Desire came on, when the jukebox was still playing, I'm all trying to stop at 22nd Street when the light is for the Hawk up here. Okay, it's blinking. That means you people can go. No, you can go. See the sign that says you can go after stopping when it's blinking? No, you guys don't see that. You can't read that. Yeah, driver's still hella confused by that style of Hawk. I never even saw a pedestrian crossing either, but yeah, nobody going when it started blinking like they're supposed to. Not like I have a lot of room to talk about people being hella confused, because I was the guy that was going to stop at the intersection before it. Always kind of throws me off when there's traffic signals that close to each other. And of course I was focused on the reds, not the greens that were directly in front of me. I kind of feel like they could have integrated those two signals better than they did. Anyway, so yeah, the show went right into karaoke. I know I got a pitcher of beer like early on, and at this point in time I was still feeling quite a lot of anxiety, because I can just kind of tell that my that I'm having some mental issues as far as my clarity of thought. So I'm trying to focus, and I'm trying not to let that make me be too uneasy around people, because sometimes like I'll just be so socially awkward when my head's just not right. And I have reason to believe autism plays a part of that, although I've never been, properly diagnosed as being on the spectrum. But a lot of that I think has to do with my age and the time that, all the diagnosis of my mental health stuff was going on. That was just not something people didn't really talk about, like Asperger's or high functioning autism much in the mid 90s, when I started having my serious mental health episodes, the ones that resulted in me being in several mental hospitals, and also spending quite a bit of time in jail, where my erratic responses to my mind not working right resulted in me doing things that got me arrested, and also resulted in me having a criminal record that I've had to deal with my entire adult life, which has held me back from doing a lot of things. I mean, I don't try to use this as an excuse to not be a functional member of society, but I mean, let's be real. When you're a convicted felon or have a criminal record, nobody's looking into why. They just see that, and that holds you back. It holds you back from renting places. It holds you back from job opportunities. I mean, I had my Airbnb account suspended over my background check, so pretty ridiculous.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you. What can I get for you?
I think I want to get 2 of the beefy melt burritos and a cheesy bean and rice burrito.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it for me.
Is everything correct on the screen?
Yeah.
Any sauce?
No thanks.
Okay, then it'll be $5.43. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure, I'll feel better after I eat. Anyway, so as I said, it's all about.
Well, it's gonna be $5.43.
Hopefully that goes through no problem. I know I'm getting kind of low on it. Okay.
Do you want to see?
Got to get my 5% cash back if I still can. Thank you. Would have been super awkward if that card got declined. On that note, I need to really put some money on that balance. Anyway, as I've said, I don't do medication. I've never really had. I've generally had really negative experiences with psych medication. I find I do better managing my own symptoms. And at this point, the way I was managing my own symptoms was as soon as I got in the building, I got a pint of our generic energy drink. I drank that, and that definitely had me more alert and gave me a little clarity of thought beyond what I was rolling with. Like if you watch the video when I'm driving to Bullocks yesterday, my thoughts are all over the place, and I was definitely having some trouble with clarity of thought. So at this point, so my thoughts are a little clear, but I'm still. Thank you. But I'm still really worried about being socially awkward or coming off rude. Like, generally speaking, I'm never trying to come off rude, but I just know sometimes, just because I am not what's the word I'm looking for? Because I'm not neurotypical. I know sometimes I come off rude, or I don't pick up on social clues that I should pick up on right, and it sometimes gets reported to the owners of the bar, or to the bartenders that, hey, karaoke DJ's being a fucking asshole, and I'm not. I'm being a person who struggles with mental illness and is still trying to be a functional member of society. Anyway, got myself a pitcher of beer. It always seems to help to do a pitcher of beer and get socially lubricated. And I definitely find that after two pitchers of beer, I seem to relate to people a lot better. I come off a lot less nervous, weird, awkward, and rude, I guess. So I'm not sure how much I had last night. I mean, I definitely remember the first pitcher. I remember finishing the first pitcher. Wow, that was awkward. This is an intersection where they're working on putting... Actually, no, they're not working on putting in a hawk. Oh, by the way, I just went around Perry Park. Did not see any homeless people camped out along there. So, although I do see a little encampment right there on the right. So it looks like the city ran them out of the park, and they just moved to that business lot just a little bit south of there, on 32nd Street, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, I definitely was feeling better after the first pitcher of beer, and the show was going really well. In fact, I've often said that I know that my mental health issues to some degree hinder me as a karaoke DJ and as a DJ, but to another point, I feel it helps me a lot, because if I can get the voices in my head to be replaced by just music in my head, and sometimes that's a difficult thing to do, but if I can do that, I become really, really on point as a as a karaoke DJ, as a DJ in general, as an MC, and also as a singer. And I definitely got myself into that place pretty quickly. And the show just from square one was just really on point. Although, and I'm super nervous and uneasy about it because I had this like really awkward interaction with Raina, one of the owners. I want to say like at the end of my second song, my second singer, fourth song, second singer, she comes up to me. And she's definitely a little closer than I'm comfortable with people standing next to me, but I'm not trying to be, rude about that. As I know a lot of times I'm like, hey, you need to, back off. Like people will perceive that as rude, but I'm generally speaking, I'm one of those persons. I kind of need my bubble. I need my personal space. And, but I get her trying to get close enough, that I can hear her over the music because it is kind of loud in there. Anyway, she asked if I'm okay, which, okay is such a relative term. Am I okay? Am I ever okay? I don't know. I'm okay as I get, I guess. I'm generally, I feel okay. But she's like, well, are you all right? Is everything okay with you? And it was, which, I would have appreciated that a whole lot more had she come up and talked to me like before I was starting the show, but I don't think she understands just how much it takes out of me mentally to actually run my show. And at that point, like I've got a song fading out, my singer fading out, and I'm trying to do just do the whole transition to my next singer. And I don't run my karaoke show like most people run their karaoke shows. I try to run it with the continuity of a radio broadcast. For those who don't know, for many years, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I was in radio broadcasting. I did a short stint again in my mid 20s, and always just been a fan of broadcasting. And I try to run my show at that level of production, as far as like the continuity, the cohesive, dead air is bad. Oh, I just missed my left turn I wanted to take. I wanted to back road it into the Wanderin, and I just missed the left turn there onto Palm Lane. It's not very well lit. I was focused more on my story. That's all right. I can sit through a red light trying to finish the story anyway. I love this song. It's such a good song. Wow. That woman in the crosswalk is signaling for the guy to turn left in front of her, even though she has the right of way. Because I'm sure she's nervous about that guy hitting her if she doesn't let him go first. That's a Phoenix thing. I always find it interesting when I watch videos talking about, pedestrian traffic and crosswalks in Europe and how people actually stop for pedestrians there. Whereas here, pedestrians know just crossing the street, they're taking their life in their hands. They're doing like her and waving them across because she just doesn't even feel safe walking while that guy's getting ready to turn left, potentially, and run her down. Hope you all were able to see that. And you all got to see the new video, the latest video from Not Just Bikes, about why it's so dangerous to be a pedestrian in the United States. And I love that he actually mentioned that Phoenix is #1 for pedestrian deaths and injuries. Because so car-centric here. Anyway, back to my karaoke show. So, when she walked up, that of course made me super nervous and awkward. And then what was even more awkward about it was that when I do my singer transitions, generally what I do is as long as I've got everything set up to where it's going to flow the music automatically, and I know I've got singers that'll probably take the mic and just run with it, which the next singer I had was Milwaukee Black, and that guy's amazing. Like, he'll grab the mic with like 2 seconds to go before his vocals need to start, and he's always on it. So I know I'm not going to have an awkward restarting of the music with him as long as I get him the mic quick enough. So I'm wanting to walk out and grab the mic from the guy who's finishing his song, and on my mic just kind of announce him, do my MC bit as quickly as possible, kind of with the mentality of less is more, just get out what I need to say and get the mic right to the next singer over the intro, the fade out of the song and the start of the next song, and then hand the mic to him. But I can't because Raina is standing in my way, and I don't want to rudely push her out of my way. And meanwhile, she's like still asking me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm thinking to myself, the only thing that's not okay is you're in my way. That's what's screaming inside my head. But I don't want to let that out because I don't want to come off like a total asshole to my boss, But that's what the voices in my head are screaming. It's like, you just need you to move out of the way. So anyway, fortunately, I was able to do my MC thing from behind the tables, and the singer, brought his mic immediately to me, and Milwaukee Black knew his song was coming up, so he's walking right towards me to get it. So I was able to get through that segue like really easily with Raina in my way, thank God. Because I just try not, because I felt like my show was off to a really good, like, smooth start, and just sometimes a misstep like that will mess my head up to the point where I have trouble mentally recovering from it and getting my groove back. And I was so on my groove as far as like my music and the music in my head and the show just moving in a real positive forward direction, and people were bringing me song requests. But anyway, so Raina left, and she's like, well, if you need to talk about anything, you can call. And and maybe I should take her up on that. I just feel more comfortable just kind of keeping a professional distance between them and I. I feel like the less they know about my mental health issues, the more secure my job is. And I'm of course I'm super nervous, like what maybe prompted her coming up to ask me that. Like, did somebody complain about me? Did I do something that upset somebody and I'm just not aware of it because I tend to miss those kind of social cues as somebody that's, I believe, is on the on the spectrum and has other mental health issues. I worry about that. I worry about that a lot. So after that, show went in a really positive direction. Like, things were really good. I felt like the show was like on a scale of 1 to 10, and I was running at a solid 10. And I forget what the first song was that I sang. Oh, I remember what it was now. It's coming back to me. I did Pussy Control by Prince and just nailed it. Love the falsettos on that. I don't even know if I can do it now because I'm still a little congested, but it's like, Pussy Control. Yeah, I was just 100% on point with that. The raps on that are really fast and they're sang, and it was just on a scale of 1 to 10, I think I hit about a 9.6 on my performance of Pussy Control, and the crowd was getting down to it, and people were dancing, and people were grooving, bobbing their heads at the tables, and I felt like I had a lot of new people there, so it's always good to, get that kind of, like, that's my first time. There may be a lot of those people the first time I've ever seen me sing, so always good to make a good first impression, But yeah, from there, after that, I went into another Prince video. I forget which one. A Prince video to follow up my Prince song, and I went up. And I forget what I was walking up to the bar for, but out of nowhere, Bree wasn't there early on. She had to go pick something up for the bar. But yeah, Bree early on, she goes, she asks, she's like, hey man, you look like you really need a shot. I must have just been wearing it on my face that my head wasn't right. People must have just seen that on my face, as much as I was trying to mask it. But anyway, she asked if I needed a shot, and it sounded like a really good idea. So I asked for some Sailor Jerry. And then I went back and I chased the shot, and I think she made a double shot, to be honest. And Sailor Cherry is such strong rum. And she, so I went back, slammed the shot inside the DJ booth, and chased it with what was left of my energy drink. And, oh man, it was just on from then on. My memories of the show from then on, they're pretty fuzzy. I feel like I did a really epic show, but I also feel like I left stuff in a way I shouldn't have left stuff at the end of the night. And I left pretty soon afterwards because I just was in no shape to really be working on anything. I don't like it when my memories are unclear as a result of drinking. And it always makes me feel uneasy about, God, what if I said something or did something that I shouldn't have done? And I don't recall. And then somebody's going to come with me upset about something I said or I did, and I'm literally not going to remember it. And then they're going to think I'm being an asshole because I literally don't remember it. Everybody I interacted with tonight seemed really happy to see me, including the bartenders, and that's always a good sign. Because I'm sure if there was something I did wrong yesterday, I'm sure a bartender would have mentioned it to me while I was there tonight. So, but still awfully nervous and worried about it. Quite a lot happened after the show, and I do want to talk about that. But I'm sitting out front of the bar. I want to go in and try to chill. I don't really feel like drinking, but I'll at least get a Coke and tip the rain a few bucks and sing a couple songs and get my head into a good place. So. Anyway, thanks for coming along with me on the ride, letting me bare my soul. Always good to know that somebody's listening and watching and caring.